So hello everyone. So in previous lecture we discussed about how generally we are linking CSS as well as JavaScript with a static website. Okay, so generally this example I have given. So I already told you, right, if we need 100 CSS we have or 100 JS we have. So if you wanted to connect with CSS or JS, external JS, I mean to say, so here we need to make each and every network call to include one of the files. Okay, so I already discussed all these things in previous lecture, so please go through there. So today we are going to talk about how generally we are using Clientlib and what we have their advantage. Okay, so generally we'll talk about all those things today. So let me go through first CR. But first, let me go to here. So I already started AEM server here, and I opened home page. Okay. So if I go here, here home page is already open, and here you can see whatever content we have. It is here we are going to design, or we are going to provide some styling, and later we'll add some JS also here. Okay. So to do the styling or to apply the CSS here, generally we'll use in Clientlib, and I'm going to develop from scratch all the things. Okay, after development, we'll able to see CSS being applied it here. Okay, so first of all, I just need to open CRXT here. And this is a header component for us. Okay, so we are going to design and we are going to add a styling in header component only. So let me go through apps and then custom AEM project. This is our project and then component. And after that, we have AEM component. Okay, so here basically we have created the custom component and we have written the STL. Okay, I mean to say sitely, and we have where we generally we are writing the rendering logic. Okay, so if you wanted to create the Clientlib generally, I'm going to discuss from the scratch and what kind of advantage we have here. So we'll go through one by one all the things. Okay. Before developing this one, I just wanted to go through uh, uh, to explain you what is the Clientlib and what is the advantage of using Clientlib. Okay. So let me go through that first, and after that we'll come back here and we'll start the development. So everyone, so basically we just need to understand what is Clientlib and what is the feature of Clientlib. Okay. So first of all, the client will be generally way to manage. Generally, here we are going to manage all the CSS, all the JS, all the front end logic, as well as if you wanted to manage some static images as well as a static asset, that particular part also we can manage. Okay, so all the front end related thing we'll able to develop here or we'll able to manage it here. Okay, so the key feature of AEM client lib. Okay, so what is the feature generally we are going to achieve here? We are going to follow that particular part we are going to talk about. So first we have here organization structure. Okay, so here generally what we have, so we do have one kind of structure, one kind of uh, package we have. I can say there we are generally adding all the CSS, JavaScript, as well as if we need any static asset, I mean to say any images, any other things, so generally we are storing it here. Okay, so generally if you wanted to manage all the this kind of thing, generally we are using in organizational structure. Okay, so optimized loading, the second one we have here. So generally here we are talking about suppose that how can we remove or reduce the performance, or how can we improve the performance. Okay, suppose that we can increase, like suppose that if we are loading the page, so we can reduce the load time of the page. Okay, all the things we are going to manage in optimized loading, and this is the one of the key feature of AEM client libraries. Okay, so here we do have a dependency management. Suppose that it can be possible we have more than one client library, or a different location we have client library and different location we have couple of JS or CSS. Okay, to manage those things generally we'll follow a dependency management here. Okay, this is the another key feature of AM client library. Fourth one we have embedding. So generally it means that if we have couple of other client library and we do have another client library, if you wanted to embed or if you wanted to combine these things generally. Okay, so generally we'll follow this key feature of AEM client library. Okay, which is fourth one. Okay, so this is something related to key feature of AEM client library, and we are going to maybe even will develop all the things. We'll follow. We'll able to achieve all the things here. Okay, the second one we have generally what is the structure of client library. When we'll develop all this thing, we'll able to get this kind of structure everyone. Okay, so here if you see generally this is the one folder, client library folder. I'm going to create this kind of thing from the scratch, and we are separating CSS as well as JS. Okay, if we need any CSS, so I have added some screenshot related to that. If you see here we do have CSS, as well as here we do have, as you can see, CSS. Here we do have two CSS, and after that we do have css.txt, we do have JS, and we do have some JS as well as js.txt. Similar to that, if you wanted to include in any uh, asset or images, I mean to say, so there we'll create one kind of resources folder, and within that we'll able to add all the static assets. Okay, this is the structure of client library. Okay, so generally if you wanted to include client library in HTML, okay, this particular part also will develop and will show you that in practically. But for now you just need to understand, if you wanted to include any client library in HTML, generally this kind of structure, this kind of two lines we need to write, and I'm going to explain why, what is this and what is this line. Okay, and after that you will able to get all the things. But to include any client library in HTML, or to connect with client library, how generally what is the syntax behind that, this is the syntax we are going to use. Okay, the most important part is the category property here in AEM. Okay, like in client library. Okay, so category within that, it is a unique something, unique ID, which we are going to use it here. This is the category basically, and this category we are going to add in client library folder, so that we'll able to see, we'll able to identify for which HTML, which client library we are going to use. Okay, and generally if you wanted to talk about in theoretical terms, generally it is used to store custom client library, I mean to say, which involves JS and CSS part. Okay, so this is all about theoretical part, everyone, and both all the things whatever we discussed here, right, in here. So we are going to talk about, or we are going to develop everything, and will everything will be clear after that. Okay, so let me jump to the CRXT and let me try to develop these things from the scratch. So everyone, this is our header component which we already developed. Okay, so this here we are going to write our client library basically. Okay, so how to use that? So within this component, we'll click on right side and we'll click on create node here. Okay, this node is a client lib. Okay, so I'll just write client lib. This name can be anything, I mean to say. Okay, but generally this is the standard name AEM is providing, so I'm using the same one, but instead of this we can use any one. But type should be mandatory. So here we do have NT. uh, I think client library folder we had to have CQ client library folder. Just this primary type is very important. Okay, so if you are going to create any client library, this name can be anything, but type should always be the same. Okay, if I click on this one, we'll able to create the client lib. As you can see here, we do have the client lib. So one thing is very important here, which is category. Okay, so I talk about category. Generally we are using to store CSS and JS, all the things. So generally within this we are going to store all the thing, and this is unique one, and this is used to identify for which HTML, which client library generally we are using. Okay, so I'll just use this one. So the thing is that category, and here the thing is that if you wanted to use further things, I mean to say. Okay, so the category one or categories generally we do have. Okay, okay, generally this thing we have, and this particular part generally we are going to use in HTML. Okay, so this is should be string, and this should be can be anything. So suppose that I'm adding here header, maybe component client. this can be unique name. Okay, that's why I'm writing here. So the name can be anything, but it should be unique. Okay, this name can, we don't need to use any, we should not use any other client library, I mean to say. So whatever name we are providing, it should be always unique, I mean to say. So we'll just click on multi, because it will behave as a multi-fill, because we can use multiple categories here. Okay, that particular part we'll talk about, we'll develop one use case and we'll talk about all the things later, but today I'm going to develop one of the simple thing here. Okay, so we'll click on multi and after that we'll click on edit here. So let me click on it. So, and after that I'll save this one. So the client lib one is already created, so I'll create one folder here, which is maybe CSS. So first I'll talk about the CSS, and similar way we just need to add the JS here as well as. Okay. So and after that, the second one we have files. So here we'll use a css.txt. Okay. These are the two things I created. Okay. Within the CSS, I'm going to create one CSS file. Okay, because I'm going to design or going to provide some styling here, right? So within the CSS folder, we'll click on create file. So maybe I'll just write header component dot css. So we'll create one CSS and we'll give one example. We'll add more than one CSS here as well as. Okay, if you want. Right now I am just adding one more, only one CSS. Okay, so next part we have in css.txt, we just need to add this CSS. Okay, so first we'll start hashtag base. Okay, equal to the folder name, which is CSS, and after that we'll use this name, which is CSS name, header dash component dot css. So first when we have hashtag base equal to CSS, then basically the base should be CSS folder, I mean to say. Okay, and the file, whatever file here, we just need to include here. Okay, so if we don't include this one, in HTML will not able to, or in page will not able to see our CSS changes. Okay, so this is very important always. So whatever CSS we are creating, you just need to register it here. Okay, if you don't register those CSS changes will not be impacted in page, in AEM pages. Okay, I mean to say. Okay, so this is done within the header CSS. Basically, here we just need to write some CSS. Okay, so we do have already HTML here. So here we'll write couple of classes, another thing, and after that, those classes or those thing will and we'll write CSS regarding that. Okay, so let me quickly try to write or try to use the CSS part, and after that we'll use couple of uh, mm, uh, I mean to say HTML classes it here so that we can link properly. Okay. So everyone, so let me start the writing of HTML. First, we'll modify something, and after that, we'll use the CSS logic here. Okay. So we do have combined. We have already written the rendering logic here. So we'll use some custom classes. Like suppose that if you wanted to use external CSS, how we'll generally use it here. Okay. So we do have three type of CSS. One is internal CSS, one is inline CSS, and the third one we have external CSS. So here we are using external CSS, means we should be having some external file, and those external file we are going to link with our HTML. Okay. If you don't understood this one, so we'll explain maybe in different lecture. We'll explain what kind of CSS we have, how to link the CSS within the HTML. Okay, we'll talk about that also. But for now, we are using the third one, which is external CSS, how to use in HTML. Okay, so first one we have here, let me write. So first, this is the header component. It should be part of it should be same as a navigation bar. So similar to that we'll write. So we'll create one class. Generally, if you need to use in this one. So if any within any tag, you just need to write class equal to whatever class you need to write. So suppose that I'm using here no bar. Okay, so this is the one class I have used, and this div I already closing it here, so we are good with that. Okay, and after that, if you wanted to design, or if you wanted to about whatever logo we have, if I show you it here, right, whatever logo we have here, it is something square and other things. Okay, and if you wanted to provide the proper logo and other thing, that particular part also we can do. So here we do have image uh, image thing. So here we can add one class here basically, which will be applied for the image tag. Okay, generally. So what we'll do, suppose that we are using logo, so I'll use logo image class here. So we'll use CSS regarding that, and after that those CSS will apply in image tag. Okay. So this is done. This is something related to image, and we have done for that. And the next one we have, suppose that. mm, href1 we have here homepage URL, homepage title, uh, about us we have about us page and about us title kind of thing. So if you wanted to combine, if you wanted to use that one also, we can use. Okay, so suppose that I mean to say, if you click on the about us title, we just need to show different sub navigation bar and other things. Okay, that particular part also we can apply it here. That is also fine, I mean to say. Okay, so let me directly jump it here and let me show you that too. So here we do have about a sub now title, and about us here we do have about a sub navigation bar, and after that we do have uh, nested child. I mean to say, we have created a nested multi-field. Okay, so these two things we have. So what I'll do here first, so I'll just use one, maybe I'll use here one div. Okay, so that we'll able to combine properly. So let me use this one for now. So I'll use here div one class with one div tag, and let me close that div maybe here. I'll just use so that it will be look good. Okay, so I'll just try to close that particular part it here. Class div. This part will directly use it, like we'll import this particular part to Visual Studio Code. That particular part also I talk about, right? We have used one plugin, and if you wanted to fetch something from the CRST to Visual Studio Code or to the repository, I mean, we'll directly able to fetch that. Okay, so this is the, let me add one class here. So we'll add a div class equal to, here we'll add a sub now, basically one more thing. Okay, so this sub now class also we have added, and this particular class I'm going to use in here. Okay, to apply the CSS logic. Okay, so this we have included three classes. One is nova, second one is for image and logo image, and for the sub navigation bar we have used this part. Okay, and if to render the content of the sub navigation bar, which is the content we are using generally. So this is the content we are using, right? This particular part I mean to say. Uh, about us title and other thing we are using. So generally if you wanted to write that part, if you wanted to include that part, so generally we'll use it here. Okay, so so first thing what we'll do is that first thing we'll use to display the subno content. So this is the basically everyone we used data slide list and other things to display further things. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just use one more dvd here. So it doesn't matter how we are using, how I'm adding it here. Okay, you don't if you're it can be different from your side. If you wanted to display or you wanted to write some classes at your end, you can write in different way. But for now, you just need to understand so how to apply the CSS in HTML. Okay, so because I just wanted to design this one, that's why I have written. So maybe I'll not write the whole thing. I'll just use couple of only some minimal thing we'll add, and we'll show you how it is reflecting. So first of all, you just need to understand the concept, how generally we are applying, and after that you can use further thing, any other thing, that is totally fine. Okay, so I just use one more div class it here, so that we'll able to see get the now sub now contain all the things. Okay, so let me try to um, close this one here, slash div. Okay, this one is done. So we used this one as well as, and rest of the thing is fine. So okay, so if you wanted to combine, if you wanted to apply something in this part also, like nested subtitle, you wanted to separate this one as well as, that is also totally fine. Okay, that is also totally fine, we can do for any kind of thing. So as you can see, I have declared four classes. One is nova, second one is logo image, to combine all the things, like all the things. So I have just written sub now, and after that we do have sub now content. Okay, this kind of things we have. So how to write the css regarding this? So I have already written the css, maybe. Okay, I have already written the here, so I'll just copy and paste, and I'll explain all the things. Okay, so let me copy that css first, and after that we'll see. So I'll directly go it here and I'll directly paste it. Okay, and we'll see if how it is rendering, how it is showing, and after that if everything is working fine, then we'll see further things. Okay, so how generally we are doing, suppose that if we have no bar everyone here, so how we are applying the css, it is the simple one. Okay, the way we are using css everywhere, we are using it here. I mean to say, like how we are declaring class no bar, we are defining. So if you wanted to apply the css here, so what we'll do, dot no bar, and after that I have just written overflow it, and we have background color is this one. Okay, suppose that after that we have anchor tag, whatever anchor tag we have here, everywhere will this particular css will apply. Okay, now bar a means within now bar, within no bar tag, whatever anchor tag we have will add, will uh, uh, float should be left side, font size should be this one, color should be white, this kind of thing will be applied. Okay, so for sub now class, sub now bar class, sub now content, so all the things whatever we have sub now, okay, all the things will be applied it here. Okay, so you don't need to understand what we have written here, because first if you understood the css part, you will able to understand all the css. Okay, like if you know already the css, another thing will able to go. But in normal development we do have different kind of figma and other things, right? Design system already we have whatever UI UX designer is providing to us. Okay, so suppose that Figma we have, we just need to go through that Figma design. After that, you will able to get all the CSS and CSS related to that component. So you just need to copy and you just need to know how to apply those CSS in real time. Okay, so that particular part I'm talking about. Okay, but if you wanted to understand the CSS, another thing you can, I hope this is the very first topic if you are learning front end development. Okay, so you can go through the css concept and you can go you can explain this one. For now I'm just understanding explaining with the concept. You should understood the concept. The css part also you can follow from the design, figma design or any other design system they are following, or you can if you wanted to apply for the thing, you can do some research and after that you can apply. That is totally different part. Okay, so I already applied this, added the CSS classes here, whatever classes we have defined it here. So, and after that, how to link, right? Suppose that I talk about when we are using the static website, we were using to apply the CSS, we were using link within REL, and after that we were writing some tag and we were connecting with CSS, right? How to connect the CSS, how to use the CSS here. So I'm going to talk about that. Okay. So everyone, if you wanted to integrate HTML to CSS generally, this kind of syntax we are using. So let me copy this one and let me use there. And after that, we'll tell you what is this. Okay. So let me go to HTML and after that, what we'll do, we'll write this in the top of the HTML. Okay, so this is the thing, this is the syntax already we talk about, right? So first of all, what is this one? Let me go through this and after that we'll explain you further things. Okay, so so if I go through this one, data like use, generally we are using to call, generally we used to call the model. It means that if you wanted to call any external, any model classes or any template, any kind of thing, generally we'll use data like use. This is the AEM attribute. Okay, and this is a client lib, this is the reference variable. Okay, so whatever we'll call here, the reference whatever will written here, it will store, will get within the client lib. Okay, similar to model classes, right? Whatever we are returning from this model class will get the reference of that or object it here. Okay, so whatever value will return will get it here. Similar to it is also follow here. Okay, so what is libs, granite, slightly, and templates, what we have here. Okay, so let me go through this path and let me show you couple of things. Okay, so we'll go to libs folder, libs, and after that will go to uh, granite, and after that we do have slightly, then we have templates, and then we have clientlibs.html. If I go to here, everyone, so we'll able to get the three kind of template here. Okay, so first one we have to include the CSS. If you wanted to include the CSS, generally we'll get this one. If you wanted to include the JS, we'll get this kind of thing. If you wanted to include the both the things, I'm into CSS and JS, then we'll use this one. Okay, so in response, basically we'll able to get this kind of thing. So within here we'll able to get all these three references. Okay, suppose that if I wanted to use CSS, generally we'll use here mode is CSS, and we'll use a clientlib dot CSS thing. Okay, if you wanted to use JS, we'll dot JS, and if you wanted to use both the things, we'll use dot all. Okay, so whatever will reference, I'm just using data like call, and after that, within this reference, I just wanted to use CSS, so I'll use dot CSS. Okay, this one. If you wanted to use JS, we'll use dot JS. I'm into the second part, and if you wanted to use the all template, I'm into say, then we'll use um, dot all there. Okay, clientlib dot all. Okay, so I'm just using CSS, we'll use this one. So the second one, we have category. So this is the unique one. So whatever category we have provided here within our component, okay, component specific client library, this category generally we are going to use. That's why I'm saying this should be unique, because generally with the help of this one, we are identifying this is the category we are going to integrate with our JS, CSS, I mean to say. Okay, so this is the unique one. So because within this HTML will is belong to this category and is going to use all the CSS and JS or the static asset within this set category. Okay, it is not going to use different category, so it should always be unique, and it is very important. Okay, here. So, and after that, we'll just close the slide tag and slide tag this one. So as you can see, if we have multiple CSS also, everyone, we just need to write this logic always. Okay, because we are using category here, and in category within the group, we are going to use all the CSS and JS, all the things. Okay, so you don't need to apply, you don't need to call multiple times, similar to static website I showed you earlier. So there we need to make every time new network call. If you wanted to include 100 file, you need to make 100 network call, which generally reducing the performance. But here, if you have multiple 100 CSS file also, you don't need to write this logic, this line 100 times. Only one time you need to write, and it will combine all the things, all the CSS, and it will execute. Okay, so this is the way to include the client library in our HTML. Okay, this is the syntax for us. Okay, so I think so far so good. Okay, so let me directly refresh the page and let me see how it is rendering. Are we able to apply the CSS here or not? Okay, so let me directly refresh this page first. Good. Okay, so we are able to apply the CSS, everyone. So as you can see, whatever classes we have written about us, as you can see, if I'm clicking on the about us, we are getting textile, course detail, all the things. Okay, okay, and if sign up login page, whatever we have, and if this is that images, the image is also looking good. Okay, so if you wanted to further customize them, so when we click on the about us, this kind of subtitle should be come here, as well as other thing we can do also the further things. You can apply some further things, and after that we'll able to get, I mean to say, all the things. Okay, so let me try to do that maybe. Otherwise, try to understand the concept. Okay, further implementation, another thing we'll able to do, we'll able to do that, not a problem. So here we do have sub no values. Okay, sub no title and other things. Okay, this particular part. So if you wanted to combine this one, maybe this is the href tag. Right now I'm not using page URL because I just wanted to make sure this about us should behave as a button or some kind of title. I don't want it to make this particular part as a href tag. Okay, so that's why, because no bar or href if we write, because no bar a we have written here, right here, so it all the things will be applied here. That's why it is breaking. So let me do that. Let me, for now, let me write only this will behave as a button, and I'll just use maybe here one class equal to sub now content. Sub now button, maybe content we already used here, so I'll just try sub now btn. Okay, and after that I'll just close this one here. Okay, because in this CSS I already have sub now button maybe. Okay, we have here. Okay, so that's why I'm using this one, sub now button. So I will behave in this way. Okay, so we do have sub now class, and after that we'll use sub now button. So this will behave as a title kind of thing, button kind of thing. Okay, so for now, if you're not understanding this one, that is totally fine. But major or main aspect for us is that you should able to understand the client lib concept. Okay, so that's why I'm explaining, but I'm explaining in detail so that you have some better idea of all the things. Okay, so let me jump here. As you can see, when I'm clicking on right now about us, so we are getting one more drop down kind of thing, sub navigation bar, and you can implement further. If you click on the company detail, you will able to get textile course detail, you will able to get the courses and training, you will able to get the training, all the things. Okay, but for now I think we are good here. Okay, and one more thing also we can do here, this one also, the last one also, we can wrap up within div tag. Okay, so that the left right side part will be here, like left side part will be, right side part will be here, and left side part will be here in this way. Okay, so let me do that also. Let me combine this one in, let me wrap this one in one more div and provide the stream. Okay, so I'll just use div class, maybe I'll use one class here, and will be sub now, maybe, right, let me write here, because we do have the same class present in CSS file, so I'm using the same one. Okay, so and after that I'll close the div tag here, so that we have some better UI, okay, to display. That's why I'm just using this one. Okay, and this particular sub now, right, I think we have already have, let me check that sub now, right, if we have, yeah, sub now, right, we have, so the content will be right, and the margin right should be 100 px. Okay, so let me refresh this one and let me show you this. As you can see right now, it is looking good. Okay, this particular part, so we do have home page URL, and after that we'll click on the about us, we'll able to get all the nested or multiple information. When we have sign up page, login page, this kind of information we have. So I hope you understood how generally we are linking HTML to CSS, and how generally what kind of approach we are going to follow here. So this is the normal development. This is the simple approach I followed here. You guys need to follow this approach. You will able to develop, you will able to apply any kind of CSS to each and every component. Okay. Next part is that we're going to continue this one. I'm going to show you a couple of important concept here, okay, related to Clientlib. So I'm going to continue that particular part in next lecture. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. If you're not able to understand anything, let me know in the comment section. We'll try to clarify your doubts. Okay. Thank you for watching this video.